Christine White in the Beads Incorporated studio. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are talking about multi-strand necklaces. Multi-strand necklaces are a staple of so many jewelry designers and one of my favorite things to make and wear. But sometimes having all of those beads at the back of your neck can feel heavy, bulky, uncomfortable, and be downright expensive. Over the years, I've turned to this method time and time again to get the styles I love. In fact, many people have asked for a tutorial on how to create these necklaces. Materials you'll need to create this technique are several strung strands, approximately 10 inches long and tied off at the ends, 2 cones or caps with a deep well, 20 gauge craft wire, chain or beading wire and crimps, beads and clasp of your choice, and assorted jewelry making pliers. By now you're familiar with crimp beads and wire. You can also check out my other tutorials on crimping. We'll start by stringing our multiple strands and tying them off with a small loop at each end. If we would like to continue our necklace into a beaded strand, we can cut another piece of beading wire and bring all of the strands together with one piece of beading wire and a crimp bead directly above the multiple strands. Cinch this at the top of all of those crimped strands and flatten that crimp. We'll do the same thing on the other side, bringing those strands together and flatten this crimp as well. We'll have a little bit of excess wire left over, and we can string our cap all the way down over our beads and at the same time over that excess wire. Don't worry if you're not able to. As long as we're crimping correctly, it's not a big deal to just cut off that excess wire. As you can see, that cap brings all of it together. I'm gonna add a gold accent bead on each side before I begin my other beads that will finish off my necklace. And then I'll start to string my wooden beads. And that's where you can see that our multi-strand necklace is starting to turn into a single strand around the back. Once my beads are strung, I'm ready to add a clasp, again with our crimping technique. So I'm just using a simple lobster claw with an extender chain. That's gonna give me some versatility when it comes to the length of my necklace. Snip off our extra. There is our beaded option. If we are going into chain or a different element, we're going to cut a piece of our 20 gauge wire, make a generous loop with your round nose pliers closer to one end than the other. We're gonna leave that loop open and go ahead and feed all of our finished strands on the end, one at a time. You can feed them on in a certain order if you have a pattern in mind, or you can be a little bit random about it. We're gonna hold our pliers over that loop that we've made, twist tie this piece around itself 2 or 3 times, use our wire cutters and snip off our excess wire, and then we can feed our cap on the end. Again, with our other necklace, The same way, I'm gonna add an accent bead and then use our round nose pliers again. Hold it slightly above the top of that bead, make a generous loop, leave it open, and now I'm gonna link it directly onto our chain. At this point, you could also link it onto a jump ring or whatever element you're going into next. Hold our round nose pliers directly over that loop that we've created. And now we're just going to twist this piece of wire around itself 2 or 3 times, snipping off our extra. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Nice generous loop here. Feeding all of our wires on. Hold our pliers directly across that loop. Twist tie this around. Snip off our excess. And I just love when we add our cap, how it really just sits down over everything and really hides all of those crimps and that mess. Use our round nose pliers again. Make that loop at the top. And now we are ready to add our chain. And there we go. And there is our necklace. Hopefully you find this style to be wearable, beautiful, functional, and most of all, simple. Thank you so much for joining me in the Beads Incorporated studio. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and be sure to check out all of my other jewelry making videos.